YouTube, man, Kyree Walker just called me out, and we're gonna break it down and see what he was talking about and why he was so angry at the video that I just put up. Now let's get right into it. Now, Kyree Walker, of course, being one of the best players, honestly, in middle school and in high school basketball, he had a huge name as well. This dude was doing things on the court at his age that I continue to keep saying were unlike anyone at the time. He was throwing the ball off the backboard, dunking on people, and no one his age was really matching that type of energy on the court, and he was unguardable. Now, Kyree Walker, of course, I made a video stating Kyree Walker had actually been deranked by ESPN rankings because, quote unquote, they had said he was too cocky on the court. Now, he asked this of his coach. That's what his coach had stated, and that was pretty shocking to me. And a lot of people continued to wonder, man, why did Kyree even take a year off? It really seemed like it hurt him overall because he wasn't playing high school basketball. And Kyree Walker actually just said this on his Twitter. Now, he said, "Y'all make all these YouTube vids about me, talk about what truly happened, do your research on me for real." And he actually posted it with this attachment. Now, this says, "His mother was diagnosed with cancer in May. Just the fact I was trying to hoop and still be successful messed up the way I played," Walker said in a huge way. I think that's what people sometimes lose sight of with Kyree, that he's still a kid. Now, I can show sympathy for this because this is obviously a serious situation here, and the real reason Kyree Walker missed out on that senior year was because of this. In fact, his grandparents actually did pass away as well, and his mother was diagnosed with cancer. Now, that's, of course, being a kid, that's a serious situation, and it makes sense why he wouldn't play basketball, but still the fact that he went from a top 5 to top 10 rated player all the way to maybe 200 something is really shocking, and it really doesn't make too much sense because Kyree even stated in an interview that there were other players who were injured for the season and kept their rankings. Now, it does sound like there was someone that was really after Kyree, and of course I can show sympathy for a certain situation like this, but at the end of the day, we are still wondering, what is Kyree Walker going to do in the future? Personally, like I even said in the video, I think Kyree Walker has a great shot at making it to the NBA, but it seems like it's going to take a little bit more time for him, and college is still a really solid route. It's not impossible, and it's really not out of the ordinary for players to try to do this really spectacular move where they go to this training facility or try to take off a year, then go to the NBA, and it's definitely a tough route. The reason being because no one has seen him play in such a long time. It's really tough when we haven't seen this guy play since he was in 11th grade, which really is going to make it hard for a lot of the NBA scouts to see what Kyree is made of. And as I stated before, Kyree Walker, as far as I know, is still not on any of the draft boards. Now this isn't saying that he can't get drafted, but man, we are going to have to wait and see what really happens. Now, do I think he has a shot at making it? Personally, I think he's going to have to go that college route. Like I said before, one of the players that actually went to Chameleon BX with him, Marjan Beauchamp, had actually opened up his college recruiting as well to see, okay, I'm going to try to go to college instead of doing this 1 year, and it's only going to make him better in the long run. I think it could be an excellent opportunity for Kyree Walker to go back to college, and really shouldn't be taken as such a negative spot, but the reality of the fact is it could only make him better at the end of the day. If he was playing in high school with people like Jalen Green and all the top competition, and he was doing well against them, it clearly shows that he can play with the best of the players in the country, and you see where Jalen Green is right now. He's in the NBA G League, and he is doing very well. He's probably going to be a top 5 draft pick. So at the end of the day, if Kyree Walker was competing with those type of caliber players, I think it really speaks volumes to his work ethic, but as well as, man, he could probably play with these top tier talent at the end of the day. We clearly saw it in high school, and if he's only gotten better, man, it is going to be scary when we see him back on the court. And plus, the video that I previously made was, of course, it was a positive video at the end of the day. It was saying I think Kyree Walker could still make it to the NBA regardless of what's happening. Now, you guys even took this situation to Instagram, and this picture has been blowing up. Not sure who actually made this, but they posted this. These two have been in high school since like 2015, and this picture has been doing numbers on Instagram. I'm just gonna leave it here, but clearly they use my thumbnail in this Instagram photo. But man, at the end of the day, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But some other news actually dropped about another college basketball player, and man, this is sad. Now, Oscar Freyer, which is actually a player for GCU, had actually played in the NCAA just a few days ago, and news actually broke out that he's actually sadly passed away. And Kyree Walker had actually known Oscar and said this: "I love you, oh, you were my big role model, man. You believed in me from the jump. Hey, many people really truly care about me, but you did. We will always be my big bro. RIP, brother, this is for you." Now, I think this is crazy. Now, at 2:30 a.m., it was reported that Freyer and two other people in the car were driving on a road when all of a sudden they had actually collided into the rear of a California Highway Patrol car that was on the side of the road assisting a disabled tractor trailer. Now, after they had actually crashed into this, they actually ended up hitting a tree, and all three passengers were actually pronounced dead at the scene. Now, this is crazy, and I really send prayers to the family and everyone that's affected by this situation. Man, this is so sad because just a few days ago he was actually playing in the NCAA tournament, and then all of a sudden he passes away. Now, this is really sad, and I think first and foremost, man, everyone affected by this really needs to know that life is short. At the end of the day, something like this could happen at any moment. And that's why we need to build each other up and cherish the moments that we do have with each other. Man, personally, Kyree Walker tweeting this out and all these things that he's going through, I think it's only going to propel him to work harder at the end of the day. This guy has a ton of motivation. Man, the majority of people that really speak on him and hate on him is a lot. At this point, a lot of people say that he's older than he really is, or he's not talented enough to make the NBA, but I think this is going to add a ton of fuel to the fire for Kyree Walker. And man, if you're one of these players, a lot of the criticism was coming on him at a very young age. By the time he was in high school, he was a household name. Everyone knew who he was. And a lot of people, this criticism about his and what he does off the court were really coming to him very fast. Being that young of a player, man, you got to think about players like Mikey Williams or Bronny James. Man, like I always continue to say, these guys are celebrities at this point, not just hoopers. Even somebody like Julian Newman, the type of criticism these guys get are insane. At the end of the day, man, this type of stuff can happen to anyone, and I really send out prayers to the families affected by it. And man, shout out to Kyree. Hopefully he can get it going and make the NBA, but only time will tell at this point. He's been putting in a ton of work, and man, even since middle school, he was one of these guys who was a dog and liked to get after it. So hopefully we can see him on the NBA boards very soon. Now, I think the best move for Kyree would have been to try to go to the NBA G League. At the time, I think that was the best opportunity because you can go right to the NBA G League, play with players who are going to be at the next level, show off your game, and then man, if the coaches really like you, you're pretty much already going to have a solid spot in the league, or at least the G League. Whereas if you go to college, man, it's a little bit more risky, and of course Chameleon BX was probably the most risky situation to take and the most risky trail to really go across. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you have to be a really talented player and have to be mature and ready to go. And plus, they're not playing any visible games where people can really see, which I think that's the huge downside to this. But of course, Gilbert Arenas did have the same coach that trained Kyree Walker, so I think he's in good hands. And man, we are going to have to wait and see what Kyree is going to do on the court. If you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think Kyree Walker actually has a shot at making the NBA, or am I overhyping him? Let me know in the comments down below, as well as make sure you send the prayers to the families affected by Oscar Freyer's situation and him passing away. It's a very sad situation. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to get a new notification every time I upload a new video. Selling each remote.